Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ira Hussein and I am your teenage teacher. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about the MAP because I'm always talking about the MAP. I'm talking about practice questions, how to take the MAP, how to pass the MAP, how to do good in your classes because of the MAP, but I never really talk about what the MAP really is. So today's video is all about understanding the MAP, and I'm going to give you a little bit of some insight on what it is and why you should be taking it. Anyway, let's get right into this video. All right, what is MAP? MAP stands for Measures of Academic Progress. It is a computer adaptive assessment used widely across North America to understand how students learn and how much they are growing. What this really means is the test isn't judging kids against a fixed standard, it's trying to meet them where they are and measured in their true level. Schools rely on MAP because it gives a far clearer picture of a student's learning curve than traditional tests. Traditional tests are all over the place. It's only based off of one unit, and there's questions that don't really cover everything you need to know on that specific subject. So taking the MAP is the complete opposite. It gives questions based on your child's learning and your child's reading, or your learning or your reading. So the MAP is much more easier than taking a test because there's nothing to study for. It just tests you on your known knowledge, not something that you need to learn in order to do. So it's no stress taking the MAP, it's stress-free, it's just knowing where you are, what levels you are in a certain subject. Okay, why does the MAP matter? The MAP, number one, tracks student growth across the year, not just one moment in time. It also, number two, helps teachers tailor lessons for each child based on actual ability. Number three, it identifies strengths early so advanced learners can be challenged. Number four, flag skill gaps before they become big problems. And lastly, provides national norms so parents and teachers can see how a student compares across districts and states. So this is kind of talking about how the MAP kind of predicts before it actually happens. Like if someone is maybe an accelerated student, they can predict it by, seeing how they answer the questions and seeing what type of questions they answer. And they'll put them into a higher level class or they'll challenge them with more questions. And vice versa with someone who doesn't really, has trouble with learning and with a certain subject, they could get extra help on that certain subject because the teacher would know hey, I know the student is struggling because I saw their MAP test scores. Okay, how does the MAP testing work? So it's a completely computer-based adaptive, and each answer shapes the next question higher. Difficulty after correct answers, lower difficulty after incorrect ones. So say a question is on algebra and I get it wrong. It's going to give me an easier algebra question, but if I get it right, it might give me a geometry question that uses algebra inside of it, which is harder. Because it adapts, the test usually takes the stress off students. They're not punished for mistakes, and they are also not punished for not knowing a certain answer. The MAP does not test knowledge that you have learned, that you're learning, but it tests knowledge that you already know. It tests your common knowledge, what you learned over the years, so it knows where you're at, level-wise. The results generate a detailed breakdown of skill areas, showing not just what the child knows, but what they're ready to learn next. This is really helpful for if you don't know where you or your child, which class they should be in. And last but not least, teachers get reports instantly and use them to adjust instruction the next day. If a teacher looks at your MAP test scores and adapts to them, then they're a pretty good teacher. A good teacher is one that can understand what skill level their students are at. And if your teacher understands that, hey, she took the MAP test and, she's not getting good scores, the teacher will help you in that subject that you're not getting good scores on. The main MAP growth tests. Okay, so these are some of the tests that you can take on the MAP website, which is in the description down below. I definitely recommend taking the MAP, guys. My teacher has definitely helped me so much after I took the MAP, and I feel so much more smarter. So taking the MAP, it doesn't just focus on one subject, it focuses on all these subjects that I'm about to read out to you right now. And I think it goes through all grades. I'm not exactly sure, but I can let you guys know if you ask me in the comments. Okay, MAP growth reading is one. It covers comprehension, text analysis, vocabulary development, and responding to different genres. It also helps schools understand whether students can handle grade level reading. MAP growth math tests number sense, operation, algebra, readingness, geometry measurement, and data analysis. It's one of the most widely used math benchmarks in North America, which means that the MAP test is really legit. I'm not trying to sell you this weird Chinese product that you have no idea about. I'm trying to sell you something that like the nation uses. Like everyone in the nation uses this for their math and for a lot of other things too, but math just seems to be the popular one. MAP growth language usage focuses on grammar, punctuation, sentence structure, writing conventions, and editing skills. And it also helps detect writing readiness issues early. And last but not least, MAP growth science looks at scientific processes, life science, earth science, and physical science, often used to track readiness for middle school and high school science. Now, a little story about me. When I started high school, I was completely flunking biology. Biology was not my best subject, but I took the MAP test and I figured out what lessons or what units in biology I was stuck on. And I worked on those projects, and guess who passed their midterm? Me. All right, specialized MAP tests. These are some more MAP tests that are specialized for certain people. MAP reading fluency, a quick voice-supported test, measures oral reading, fluency, expression, phonics skills, and comprehension. Ideal for early elementary grades, K to 3. Helps teachers catch early literacy challenges before they snowball. This is good for kids who are maybe younger, or maybe your children, or maybe your siblings who are struggling in school. And, it's better to find out the mistakes and the problems they're having earlier on so that, it's fixed and that they're doing better in school earlier than later. All right, next one is MAP skills, a more granular skill-by-skill diagnostic that breaks down reading or math into tiny teachable components. It's used for target interventions and tutoring programs, and it helps identify exactly which sub-skill a student needs practice with, like fractions, phonics, patterns, grammar types, etc. When MAP tests are given, most schools test in the fall, winter, and spring. And the fall sets the baseline. It's basically what teachers are working with in the beginning of the school year. The winter shows mid-year progress, how the teachers have helped you based on the fall. Spring measures growth across the entire school year. This is your end one. This is she finished. Let's see all of her scores. Let's see if she had growth, if she didn't have growth, and what we need to fix. Because results come quickly, they feed directly into lesson plans, tutoring groups, and enrichment assignments. Some schools also test early readers more frequently using MAP reading fluency. So I live in Massachusetts, and in Massachusetts, we have to do something called MCAS. And MCAS results come in a year. You have to wait a full year to get your results back. And that's not really going to help me for the year ahead. But when I do take the MAP, results come back in 2 weeks tops. 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, maybe just a month, which really is an upgrade from, MCAS or SBAC or any of the state testings that you guys do. All right, here's the last thing. Understanding MAP scores. Now, this is the main thing. You take the MAP test, you get a score, you're like, what the heck does this mean? MAP uses a score called RIT, RASC unit. RIT isn't tied to grade level, so a grade 3 child might perform at a grade 5 level, or vice versa. Scores increase gradually as students grow, so parents can track progress year after year. Reports often show projected growth targets, typical growth ranges, and how a child compares nationally. The real goal isn't the score, it's the growth over time. So, scores from the reviews I've seen are so easy to understand. It's not really confusing when you're taking MCAS, because I know those scores are pretty confusing, but MAP scores are crazy simple to read. I got my scores back and I knew it perfectly. I knew exactly what I was doing. I knew what subject I was doing good in and what I was doing bad in. I didn't even have to ask my parents for help. I had to explain it to my parents a little bit, but then when I did, they were like, I understand this. This is really straightforward. So everything comes really easy in the MAP. There's nothing really confusing. It's just, it takes time to get better at subjects. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope this helped because I talk about the MAP a lot, and for good reasons, because it's a pretty good test and it's one that I do recommend you take. Guys, the link is in my description and it's in every single video. I leave it in the link. I leave the link in the description. Comment or email me if you have any questions about, more practice tests you want me to look into and see if they're reliable or not, because I'm your teenage teacher. I'm your gal. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Please take the MAP test if you want to pass your classes. Bye, guys.